was out with injury that the WNBA does better when she is on the court. The WNBA ratings across the league dropped by over 50%.
Alyssa Smith now with the Wings said after shoot-around she expected Friday night's game atmosphere was going to be insane.
And it's also a huge blow to the WNBA. Whether some fans like it or not, it was proven the last time.
The sellout was expected to be a franchise attendance record, as well as a record for any WNBA game.
"We're circled on everybody's schedule," said Sophie Cunningham as she aired out the Fever's dirty laundry. What does that even mean? From injuries to player divisions and shocking locker room preferences, this team's struggles go far beyond broken plays. Stick around as we break down Cunningham's explosive comments and what it could mean for the Fever's future.
It was supposed to be Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers, this year's #1 overall draft pick.
Over the past 3 games, it is very clear that Caitlin Clark is not feeling like Caitlin Clark.
Player that everybody's been trying to say was the next Caitlin Clark when there's not going to be another Caitlin Clark.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
She has only made 1 3-pointer in her last 3 games, and even just last game, she only had 6 points.
And Ion Network is, I'm sure because this is a Friday night, they're probably carrying the game, which sucks. They put on a pretty good broadcast.
What happens when a team's biggest battles aren't even on the court? For the Indiana Fever, Sophie Cunningham's recent comments gave everyone an unfiltered glance at a mess that's boiling over. When she said, "We're circled on everybody's schedule," it wasn't just confidence, it was frustration. She's fired up, sure, but not in the way you'd hope from a star player. The cracks are showing and they start in the locker room. Behind the scenes, there's talk of preferences splitting the team into cliques. It's the type of dynamic that can destroy chemistry before players even step onto the court. Add to that the shadow of DeWanna Bonner's departure last season, and it's hard not to wonder if her exit was more than just about new opportunities. When a veteran like Bonner chooses to leave, it forces you to consider what's happening behind closed doors.
Because they could have been staring at what potentially would have been for their network, a ratings-breaking game.
But it wasn't only her performance on the court that was worrying fans, it was also just her demeanor, her energy.
Cunningham didn't mince words either. She called attention to a lack of focus across the team, especially with their demanding schedule. It's not just about having to play back-to-back games or dealing with travel fatigue. It's about players losing sight of the grind. And let's not forget Clark's injury. Her absence isn't just a physical toll on the roster, but a mental one too. Losing a leader like Clark has amplified those frustrations, leaving them struggling to hold things together in the heat of competition.
Clark missed her 6th game of the season on Thursday, and we all know how that nightmare turned out. An 85
felt like something was wrong. She wasn't hyping up the crowd like she normally does, and even in her pregame routine, she was doing some things.
The Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark will miss her 2nd straight game with a left groin strain.
The Fever situation isn't unique. Teams with divided locker rooms historically tend to crumble under pressure. A 2017 study on team cohesion in sports found that groups with strong interpersonal bonds outperform those that struggle with internal disputes. And when you look at teams like the 2020 Sparks, whose internal divides became public disaster stories, it's clear how destructive these issues can be.
Differently, some fans also noticed that she had her upper left leg taped during a couple of those games, so there's a lot of things going on.
Listed as out on Friday night's game against the Dallas Wings per a Fever team release at 2 p.m.
Cunningham's words aren't an isolated rant. They're a signal that the Fever's problems could spiral without intervention. So how does this impact their on-court play? The Fever's 2-4 record without Clark says enough. No amount of raw talent can overcome a team that's pulling in different directions. Can this locker room come together before it's too late, or will their season be defined by distractions? Stay with me. Caitlin Clark's injury couldn't have come at a worse time. The Fever were already balancing on a fragile edge, and losing their leader has only made things worse. It's not just the stats, though those are impossible to ignore. Her league-leading points per game, her unmatched ability to control the pace of play, and the way she opens up opportunities for the entire offense. Beyond the numbers, she's the heartbeat of this team. Without her, they're missing more than just buckets. They're missing direction.
It will be a disappointment for many who hope to watch the two young stars clash.
A lot of things pointing to the fact that something wasn't right. And I have to be totally honest with you guys, I'm not surprised by this news at all.
The Fever's recent 2-4 stretch speaks volumes. Sure, injuries happen, but when you're built around one player as much as they are, the whole system can fall apart when she's gone. Her groin injury forced her to sit out a game everyone had circled on their calendar, the showdown with Paige Bueckers. That wasn't just any game, it was a matchup move to the American Airlines Center to pack in a bigger crowd. The hype was electric, the stakes huge. But when Clark couldn't suit up, the entire event felt deflated. The Wings, still hungry, fed off that change in energy while the Fever struggled to find their footing.
The #1 overall pick in last April. The Stars played twice in college.
I think Caitlin's hurt. I'm not going to be surprised if sometime soon the Indiana Fever pulls her and sits her for a few games.
The first overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft against former UConn star Paige Bueckers.
Without Clark, everyone's roles shifted. Cunningham forced to step up more offensively, which meant more pressure. The younger players, they were tossed into high-pressure situations they weren't ready for. The result? Sloppy play, rushed decisions, and cracks in the foundation. It's like pulling the centerpiece out of a puzzle. You can try to piece it together, but it just won't look right. Here's the thing though, this isn't just about missing points from the stat sheet. This injury has exposed how thin the Fever's chemistry and focus really are. You can see it in the way they react to challenges. Instead of rallying, there's hesitation, frustration, and at times, chaos. It goes back to everything Sophie Cunningham hinted at: distractions, divided locker rooms, and a team that's still searching for unity. So with Clark sidelined, the question isn't just when she'll return. The real question is whether the Fever can use this challenge to regroup, or if this absence is the symptom of something much bigger.
But it's a tough blow not only to Caitlin, because we know that she loves to be on the court. It's a tough blow for the Indiana Fever.
To the American Airlines Center at 20,000 capacity. They moved it to the Dallas Mavericks Arena.
Because that is their superstar. Whether she is playing to the best of her abilities or not, they are still a better team with her on the court.
The Indiana Fever's season isn't just about missed shots or a bad record. It's deeper. Sophie Cunningham's words made that clear. We're circled on everybody's schedule, she said, but inside their own locker room, they're struggling to circle around each other. Caitlin Clark's absence has magnified these challenges, exposing fractures in chemistry that no playbook can fix. The Fever's identity now hangs in the balance. Can they lean on each other and rewrite their season's narrative, or will this turmoil define them? One thing's certain, team chemistry, not their opponents, might be the hardest battle they'll face this year.